Tonight, we'll find out whether Eric Good, back for the 18th week, will trust his wife Helena and raise his winnings to $94,800.
Did you hear that, Charlie? The Goods have a chance of winning $94,800.
Yeah, well, I've only got one thing to say to them.
And what's that?
Adopt me.
Do you trust your wife? Brought to you by L&M. Get full exciting flavor plus the miracle tip. Live modern. Smoke L&M. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, the husband, by knowing whether to trust his wife, can possibly retire for life. Yes, our trust fund question pays $100 a week every week for an entire year. And the trust fund winner may return and keep winning an additional year's income until he is defeated. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here is the star of our show, Edgar Bergen, with Charlie McCartney.
Well, Charlie, will you please explain the idea of this colonial costume?
Well, I'll tell you, Bergen, we are doing a play at school, and I was elected to play the part of George Washington.
You play George Washington?
Yeah, there was a little politics.
I imagine there was, there. So you play George Washington, the man who never told a lie. Aren't you proud of a record like that?
Poor kid was in a rut.
Yeah.
He had no imagination at all.
Oh, no. It's a very proud thing to do a thing like that. I hope that you will sort of emulate him and learn to tell the truth a little bit.
Oh, well, that's the sort of the coward's way out.
No. You see, George Washington once chopped down the cherry tree when he was a little boy, you know. And his father asked him, did you chop down the cherry tree? And George says, I did, Father. Well, that's no trick. Well, no, well. But he told the truth, though.
Well, he ought to. His father stood there with the axe.
Oh, no.
Edgar, I'd like to have you meet Bud and Melody Starr from Glendale, California.
Yeah, good evening, Bud and Melody. Melody Starr, that's a very pretty name, yeah.
It's a nice handle.
Yes, it is.
Kind of like the way it's attached, too.
All right. With a name like that, Melody Starr, are you, by any chance, in show business?
Well, sort of.
Sort of, I see. Well, what do you do? Sing? Dance?
No, I'm a ventriloquist.
Oh, no.
What's the matter, Charlie?
I was just thinking, Bergen, all the years I've wasted on the wrong lap.
Never mind.
Well, it's been nice knowing you, Bergen.
All right, where are you going?
I'm going over here.
No, you're not, Charlie.
This is the kind of star I want to hitch my wagon to.
Yes, I know.
You can throw your voice at me anytime.
That will do, Charlie. Charlie, you would leave me for this young lady?
Yeah, I got the signal, you know.
Yeah.
Let me put it this way, Bergen. If you could get a filet mignon, would you settle for a rump steak?
All right. Well, now, Melody, this is certainly an unexpected pleasure to meet a ventriloquist.
Well, Mr. Bergen, I can't tell you how thrilled I am to meet you. All the ventriloquists know what you've done for ventriloquism.
You mean what he's done to ventriloquism? No. Let's see you make the kid say something.
No, Charlie. No, that's her husband. Oh. Yes, let's find out something about you, too, Bud. What kind of work do you do?
Well, I'm a milkman.
A milkman.
Mm-hmm. I'm with the Roger Jessup Dairy.
I see.
I've been there for 25 years.
Oh. And
I'm in the wholesale end of it.
The wholesale end of it, yeah. How did you happen to become a ventriloquist, Melody?
Well, some time ago, I was interested in magic, and I got a little show together and did some benefits for the children, little children's hospitals and things like that. And I was a horrible magician.
Oh,
But I had a little tiny hand puppet, a little rabbit, and he used to dash around helping me do the effects. So someone said, why don't you throw your voice and have your rabbit talk and forget magic? They said, after all, you know, ventriloquists don't have to have much talent to get by.
Edgar Bergen, this is your life.
Never mind.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean it like that.
Well, now, Melody, let's not give away all our secrets now. Now, Melody, where did you study ventriloquism?
Do you study it or did you catch it?
No. It's a gift.
Yeah, like measles.
No.
I studied under the same teacher I understand that you did a little work with a long time ago,
Yes.
the great Lester.
Oh, yes, yes. He certainly was the world's greatest, yeah. Well, now tell me, Melody, just where do you appear with your act?
Well, I don't appear professionally.
He's asking nervously. No. You don't appear professionally.
I don't appear professionally. I am connected with the Race Center Foundation. It's a new organization, a charitable organization, and I use my ventriloquist act as a means to raise money for this foundation. And incidentally, if we are lucky enough to win any money tonight, every penny is going to the foundation.
Well, isn't that nice? That's very good. Yes. Well, that certainly is commendable. Now, what kind of an act do you do?
Well, I have a very darling little doll I call Susie.
Oh, yeah.
And she has one of those, figures.
Yeah.
And once in a while... Yes, Charlie.
Yeah.
And sometimes she wears one of those, gowns.
Yeah, I know. Drives me crazy. I'll take a dozen. She sounds like my kind of people.
Yeah, all right.
I have her with me all the time, and she's waiting outside.
Well, would you mind bringing her in then, huh?
Certainly.
We must see her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This Susie sounds kind of gorgeous.
Yes.
How do I look? Is my hair straight?
Yeah, your wig is all right.
Yeah. Is my head okay?
Yeah.
Is my head straight?
Your head is straight. Yeah. Well, Bud, is that on the level? Do you actually take Susie wherever you go? Or when
Oh,
you
we
out?
have a lot of fun. We go to different restaurants and clubs.
I see.
And we take Susie with us and set her down at the table. And Melody throws her voice, and people get a big kick out of it when they find out that she's not real.
Yeah.
Bergen takes me or he doesn't get invited.
All right.
So then everyone seems to ask Susie, are you married to Charlie McCarthy?
Me married? Me should be tied down with bills, aggravation, and nagging. That'll be the day.
Yes.
Oh, here she comes.
Oh.
This is the day. Is there a preacher in the house?
Yeah, well, I should say. Hello, Susie. Say, you are a cute one.
Never mind, Father Time. All right. Let's make a little time of our own, dearie.
And who are you, little boy?
Let's get back to the milkman. I think we can handle him.
Now, Charlie, I think Melody and Susie make a very delightful team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's very smart, too, Mr. Bergen. You know the line that the great Lester said was the jawbreaker that stops ventriloquists
Yes.
when they can't say it without moving their lips?
Yes.
Like Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
Susie says this with ease.
Get rid of them, Bergen. They're laying a trap. No.
You mean Susie can do that? Well, then I should certainly like to hear that.
All right, come on. Say, Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers.
Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers.
Well, then it can be done.
No one is more amazed than you.
No, that was excellent. And the great Lester certainly was a wonderful teacher.
What did you do? Skip school?
I'm afraid. How about making up with Susie?
Why, sure thing, Susie, honey. After the show, let's you and me drive up to the top of Lookout Mountain, dearie.
And what's going to happen up there?
Look out.
Well, it's been fun chatting with you three. And Melody, I think it's wonderful that you devote all your time to charity. I certainly wish you a lot of success with your work. And now may we have a modern fanfare, Professor, if you please. Ladies and gentlemen, the purpose of those musical ruffles and flourishes is to call your attention to this news from L&M. Now, when you smoke L&M, you can pick the pack that suits you best. This new crush-proof L&M box or this handy L&M pack, king and regular. On some occasions, you may prefer the box. At other times, the pack may be just right. So take your choice. And, of course, the important thing to remember, whichever you choose, you always get the L&M flavor, the full, exciting flavor that makes L&M America's fastest growing cigarette.
Mr. and Mrs. Starr, you can win up to $1,200 in cash tonight on your way to our trust fund question. Your first correct answer is worth $100. Edgar, here are the Star's questions.
Will you both go to the board, please? Bud, we want to see how much you know about your wife. Bud, which of these three does your wife prefer for an evening of fun? Would she prefer to see boxing matches, go dancing, or go bowling? Now, you just write boxing, dancing, or bowling. And Melody, you write bowling, dancing, or boxing.
He wrote bowling and she wrote bowling. You now have $100. Your next correct answer will be worth $200.
The subject of your second question is comic strips. Do you trust your wife?
I'll trust myself.
What comic strip character uses a two-way wrist radio?
Dick Tracy.
Dick Tracy is right. Yes.
You now have $300. Your next correct answer will be worth $300.
The subject of your third question is United States geography. Do you trust your wife?
I'll trust...
I have your answer.
How did you get it?
You trust yourself.
No, I'll trust
Which
myself.
state is divided into parishes instead of counties? Which state is divided into parishes instead of counties?
Utah?
No, it's Louisiana.
Edgar, Mr. and Mrs. Starr have won $300. You may now risk all of it, none of it or part of it on our board question. But if you lose, what you risk will be deducted from what you already have won. And remember, tonight's top winner competes with our winner from last week for our trust fund question of $100 a week every week for an entire year.
And remember, the more the question is worth, the harder it is. Do you wish to select a category?
I trust my wife.
And which category? Any one of the
Motion
first
pictures.
three. $100, all right. When Bob Hope and Bing Crosby appeared in their several role pictures, who was the actress who usually starred with them?
Oh, Dorothy L'Amour.
Dorothy L'Amour is right.
And the Stars have a grand total of $400. Now, here again is Edgar Bergen with Mortimer Snurd. Edgar here from Santa Monica, California, are Nat and Betty Charnley.
Welcome to the show, Nat and Betty. Nat, what do you do?
Well, Betty and I run the Charnley schools here in Los Angeles.
I see.
And it's a nursery school through fourth grade. And Betty takes care of the educational part, and I handle the administrational end.
Nice. They work on both ends. Yeah, they do. Yeah. Well, now, just how large a school do you have, Nat?
Well, actually, there are two. We have one in Santa Monica that has 60 students, and one in Pacific Palisades that has 80.
That's bigger than our classroom, than your school. Yeah. About how many does your school hold? Well, we can sleep about 12. Is it one of those typical rural schools that you go to, Mortimer? You know, with a tall, thin teacher and a pot-bellied stove in the center? No, it ain't like that, no. No, we got a tall, thin stove and a pot-bellied teacher. Oh, yeah. I see. Well, Betty, just what methods do you use? Do you practice this much-talked-of progressive education at your school?
Well, not to any great extent, Edgar. We believe children should have freedom of expression, but also restrictions. In fact, the philosophy of our school is that a child's security is really his restrictions.
I see. What did she say? Well, how does that differ from progressive education? Yeah.
Well, in progressive education, a child has complete freedom of expression. For example, Jimmy's out playing, and he looks at the teacher, and she reminds him of Aunt Emma, and he kicks her because he doesn't like Aunt Emma, and the teacher understands.
I wonder, could you find a place for Mortimer at your school? Would you accept him, do you suppose?
Oh, sure. We handle lots of problems at our school.
Oh.
We'd just treat Mortimer like we would any other child that was slower than his group.
Now, just a darn minute here. Now. Who's calling who's slow? All right. I even skipped a grade in school. Oh, you did? Yeah. I went right from the third to the first. Yeah, well, congratulations. I only got a year to go. Yeah, kindergarten. Yeah, I know. Betty, just what sort of activity could Mortimer expect at your school?
Well, in addition to the regular classes, we have what we call, sort of a family and school day when the children bring things from home that they love particularly, a toy or a new gift or a pet, something of that sort.
Yeah, say, I'd like to bring my pet then, my cow Bessie. Well, that would be something, yeah. Of course, it might be embarrassing. Oh, I don't think so. She might graduate before I do. Oh, that's impossible. Oh, she's got a lot of tricks, that girl. Yeah. She's got a bag of tricks. All right, yes. Betty, I'm sure none of your students brought a cow to school. Have they done that?
No, we've had about everything else, though, Edgar. We've had, just about the favorite bird this year, or favorite animal, is a parakeet.
Yeah.
And we've had a great run on parakeets. Yeah. And then about the funniest thing we've ever had brought to school was a little boy one morning brought a snake to school, and in the afternoon took home a mother snake and 34 little babies.
That's amusing, isn't it? Yeah, bag of tricks. I like that. Oh, all right. Betty, do you have any other special activities there?
Well, we have one underway right now that Mortimer might like. The first and second grade are studying the dairy farm. They're learning pints and quarts and gallons, and they visited a dairy farm, and they've even learned how to milk a cow.
Say, I could be right there, all right. I'd be ahead of the class. I think you could. I'm a champion milker, you know. Champion milker, yeah. I didn't know you had it in you. Well, I didn't. Carl Bessie did. Yeah, I know. Where did you learn to milk a cow? Oh, same place, little back of the middle. Oh, that, yeah. You know, Nat, I've always maintained that some of the best humor we have in this world comes from the mouths of these babes. You must have some stories or experiences in working with these children, haven't you?
Oh, yes. Funny things happen there all the time. For instance, last semester, right after promotions, the first grade boy came overheard him talking to his teacher, and he said, "Goodbye, teacher. I'm sorry you aren't smart enough to teach me next term."
Yeah. Have you had any, Betty, that stories or experiences with these children?
Well, last week I was talking to one of the little girls, and I said, "How are things at home?" And she said, "Oh, not so good." She said, "Last week my aunt had a baby, and now I think my mother's coming down with it."
Yeah. Mortimer, do you think that you would like to go to the Charnley School? Well, I don't think I can. I've been offered a scholarship. Well, you never told me about that. Yeah. It's to a medical school. Oh, well, that's wonderful. Well, there's only one hitch to it. They don't want me while I'm still alive. Oh, I see. Well, we've enjoyed having you on the show. And in just a moment, we'll play Do You Trust Your Wife? Oh, Mr. Berger, what's that new slogan you were telling me about? Something about a pack of pickles? Oh, no. It's L&M lets you pick the pack that suits you best. Watch. Oh, yeah.
Friends, we want to thank you for making our L&Ms the fastest growing cigarette in America. To deserve this, we're going to continue bringing you every modern improvement in making L&Ms just the way you like them. For instance, many of you like the new crush-proof L&M box, while millions of others prefer the handy L&M pack. Maybe you prefer the box on some occasions, and at other times you'd rather carry the pack, king or regular. Well, we think the modern way is to give you your choice. And believe me, you're ahead no matter which you choose, the L&M box or the L&M pack. You pick the pack that suits you best. The important thing, of course, is the cigarette inside. Only when you live modern and smoke modern L&M can you enjoy full, exciting flavor, plus L&M's miracle tip. That's the secret. The full, exciting flavor no other cigarette can match that makes L&M America's fastest growing cigarette.
Mr. and Mrs. Charnley, you can win up to $1,200 in cash tonight on your way to our trust fund question. Your first correct answer is worth $100. Edgar, here are the Charnley's questions.
Thank you. Will you both go to the board, please? Nat, we want to see how much you know about your wife. Nat, which type of weather does your wife feel her best in? Hot, warm, cool, or cold? Write either hot, warm, cool, or cold. And Betty, you write warm, hot, cool, or cold.
He wrote hot, and she wrote hot. You now have $100. Your next correct answer will be worth $200.
The subject of your second question is comic strips. Do you trust your wife?
I'll trust myself, Edgar.
All right. Who is the creator of Little Abner? Little Abner.
Al Cap.
Al Cap is right.
You now have $300. Your next correct answer will be worth $300.
The subject of your third question is United States geography. Do you trust your wife?
I'll trust myself again, Edgar.
Very well. Which New England state has no coastline?
Vermont.
Vermont is right.
Edgar, Mr. and Mrs. Charnley have won $600. You may now risk all of it, none of it, or part of it on our board question.
Now, do you wish to select a category?
I think we'll select the $600 one, and I'll trust my wife.
All right.
Okay.
The Bible. In the Old Testament, one of the prophets was taken up to heaven in a chariot of fire. Who was he?
Elijah.
Elijah is right.
And the Charnleys have a grand total of $1,200. And now it's time for our trust fund question. We will place in trust with the world's largest bank, the Bank of America in California, a trust fund, which will pay tonight's winning couple $100 a week every week for an entire year. Last week, a construction company technician and his wife ran their winning streak to 17 years and $89,600. And now here they are, back to try for $100 a week for an 18th year, Eric and Helena Good.
Now, where have I seen you two before? Just think, you'll be getting checks from the Bank of America for 17 years. Gee, I wonder what Effie and I will be doing 17 years from now.
Yeah. Well, you'll always be very welcome at our house.
Welcome, well, that's very nice.
Good. I'll wheel him over. If my husband will let me out.
Your husband?
Yeah. I'm just a crazy, mixed-up dreamer.
Yeah, I know, yeah. Well, you know, Eric and Helena, our mail indicates that you're two very popular winners, and that the whole country seems to be getting a personal kick out of your success story. Have you anything new to report this week?
Well, Elena's getting to be quite a public speaker. Several women's clubs have invited her down to speak.
Yes, and the funny part of it is that they seem to understand what I say, or at least they pretend they do.
Yeah.
Because when I stand there to speak to them, oh, I'm so nervous, I'm stiff scared.
You're stiff scared, yeah.
I mean, scared.
Oh, scared stiff, yeah.
Maybe you'd like to speak to my Cackle and Culture Club. We like to get a little stiff once in a while ourselves.
Yeah, no, yeah. Yes, Effie, you have lectures at your women's club.
Oh, yes, right along.
Yes.
Some very good speakers, too.
Yes.
Just last week we had a subject called, just a wonderful subject.
Yeah, what was it?
There's one called, Is There a Life After Marriage?
Life after marriage?
Yeah, we enjoyed that.
Yeah.
We were the only ones.
Yeah, yes.
And then there was another one, a speaker, Can a woman of 40 really find happiness if she's really 55?
I see, yeah. Yeah.
And then, of course, we have Secrets of Wine Cookery.
Wine cookery?
Yeah, that's how to get potted with your pans.
All right. Well, I think that'll be about enough. Well, now, the Goods are anxious to know what they'll be doing 18 years from now. So, Bob Lamont, who are tonight's winners?
Well, Edgar, to compete with the Goods is tonight's winning couple with $1,200, Nat and Betty Charnley. The subject for tonight's trust fund question is mythology. Edgar, here is that question.
Well, thank you. Well, now, you gentlemen, you've heard the category. There's a lot of money at stake. Do you trust yourself or do you trust your wife? I hope you make the right choice. In a few seconds, our couples will match wits in the big trust fund question. But now, ladies and gentlemen, a word from L&M, the only cigarette that lets you pick the pack that suits you best. Your kind attention, please.
A modern miracle happens. time you light up an L&M. Through the modern miracle of the pure white miracle tip, L&M draws easier, tastes richer, smokes cleaner. So get more fun out of life, more flavor out of smoking. Enjoy full, exciting flavor, plus L&M's miracle tip. Live modern. Smoke L&M, America's fastest growing cigarette.
Live modern. Smoke an L&M.
Now pick the pack that suits you best. New crush-proof box or handy pack, king and regular.
Well, Mr. Good, do you trust yourself or do you trust your wife?
I trust myself, Mr. Bergen.
And Mr. Charnley, do you trust yourself or do you trust your wife?
Well, I guess I trust myself.
You were so informed. Very well, then. Will you go to the board, please? You will have 20 seconds to answer this question. It's worth $100 a week for a year, and the winner can come back and perhaps make enough to retire for life. This may be the most important answer you will ever have to give. You have 20 seconds, so think clearly and write fast. Get your pen ready. Here is the question. In Roman mythology, there are many gods and goddesses, and they are classified as either greater or lesser. This question concerns just the greater Roman gods and goddesses, of which there are 12 in number. When I say go, write as many of these 12 greater Roman gods and goddesses as you can. Do not abbreviate. Are you ready? Then go.
And here are the correct answers. Apollo, Ceres, Diana, Juno, Jupiter, Mars, Mercury, Minerva, Neptune, Venus, Vesta, and Vulcan. The Charnleys have 2 correct, and the Goods have 5 correct. The Goods are our trust fund winners with $100 a week every week for an 8 years.
What do you do when I'm like
I remember that dinner all.
18 years. Now you know what you're doing 18 years from now. Still retired.
And now here are Edgar and Mortimer with tonight's Nerdism.
Mortimer, there's been a lot of discussion about new styles for women. Do you have any comment?
Oh, yeah. Ladies, remember, you only get out of the dress what you put into it.
Good night. Oh, I hope by this time next week you'll all have changed to L&M. Remember, pick the pack that suits you best. Crush-proof L&M box or handy L&M pack, king or regular. Get full, exciting flavor. Smoke L&M.
Contestants on Do You Trust Your Wife are flown to Hollywood on United Airlines. United, famous for its DC-7 red carpet service, non-stop coast to coast.